Hello, this is Alan from Toolchef. In this video, I'm going to look at how to render an Atoms cache inside Katana. So I prepared a simple scene with a camera, a plane, and a light. It's really simple. Switch to our camera. So let's import our Atoms cache. Create an Atoms proxy node and connect to the main merge. Now in the cache path, we need to select our Atoms cache. So let's bring one. My sim cache already prepared. Atoms. I can already see my binding box here. And the Atoms proxy node create this new location, the Atoms proxy, and this other node here that it's the one that called the renderman procedural. In fact, you see there are the render procedural attribute here, and if you expand, there are all the other attributes that the procedural used to render the agents. So let's go back to the Atoms proxy. Let's bring a variation file. Variation, robot element variation, set. And now we can render. So just press, let's do a preview. And we have all the agents here. Also, you can see also the agent in the viewer. Just change the draw mode. For example, you can choose to see just the bounding box of the agents, or the skeleton, or mesh mode, or skin mode, or even the variation mode. You can see there are two variations in my case. I have the robot 2 and robot 1. Let's do another render. Okay, let's get back to the Atoms proxy. Here in the groom cache path, you can set the path of your xgen cache. And then in the agent's ID, you can filter agents based on the ID. So let's draw the agent ID using the draw metadata. For example, we can filter the node agent from 10 to 20. And now we have only those agents inside the cache. Obviously, you can exclude also agent. So for example, if you don't want the 18. Okay, so now then we have the frame offset that you can use to offset the cache, like this. And then the agent to expand. Basically, this attribute here will expand in other locations, some agents. So for example, expand the 10 to 20. And you can see now we have other location, and each location is a render procedural node that will render only this agent. If you select, for example, the 14, that is this guy here, and you see there are still the render procedural attribute with all the attribute that the procedural used to render only this agent here. Obviously, you can override all this attribute using an attribute set node or other Katana node. So, for example, our agent here is using the variation robot 1. We can change that with an attribute set. Let's put this one here. Let's select the agent 14 part. Here, string, we need to change the renderer procedural dot args dot agent variation to robot 2, and you can see now it's using the variation 2. We can render. I see now the agent is using the new variation. Okay, let's back to the Atoms proxy. The mesh filter is to filter out some mesh or render only some specific mesh. For example, if we want to exclude the head, we can do like this, exclude using the exclamation mark and head. So you can see already we excluded the head here. Or if you want just the head, just remove the exclamation mark and we are just the head. So let's remove this one. And now the metadata filter. With the metadata filter, you can filter agent based on some metadata value. So for example, I don't know, if we want to render already the agents with the robot1 variation, we can tell to use the variation metadata as filter and using the robot1 as value. Obviously, you can do multiple metadata using the comma to separate one metadata to another. So let's variation. You can see some agents are excluded now in the viewport. So let's remove this one. And now also you can move agents using the transform 3D node. Example here, let's connect this guy here and here. Let's move our agent 14. Last, make interactive, and now we can translate our agents. One render. I see the agent is then inside the new location. Okay, go back to the Atoms proxy. Now the disable default material is used to disable the green material that the procedural use if he doesn't find a valid variation material. This is used when you want to use material attached to an agent location directly or a mesh location, because for every agent here you can expand also the mesh of each agent. So for example, let's go back to expand mesh and put yes. Now you can see the location is changed to group. If you expand, you will see there is each mesh that composes this variation basically. And obviously you can attach normal material here, and to use Katana material here on this mesh and this location, you need to disable the default material, also disable the variation material for this agent. In this case, I will disable here all the material. This one will disable for every agent, but you can use an attribute set to just disable all the variation material on only those agents here. Because if you disable everything, you'll see this attribute is sent to the render procedural arguments here. For example, I press render, you see will not use any material now. I have the flat gray material. So let's create a new material. Let's add a simple, I don't know, like Pixar Disney. So let's change, to red. And now we can assign. Okay, and now, yeah, we want to assign, sorry, this material, I don't to the robot 19, sorry, yeah, not to the 14, at this guy here. I want, for example, here, statement custom 14 to all the mesh under this location. I want to assign those material here. So if I press view render, now this agent here using this material, so you can assign for specific mesh here. Let's add the attribute set to reset the right material on the other agents. So this attribute set but cell expression custom we want to override the render procedural this one, so renderer procedural dot args dot disable variation materials. Okay, and now we can remove the value from the main node. This way I render. You can see now we are overriding only for those guys here. So let's get back to the Atoms proxy. So now let's see the scene material. With the scene material, you can use materials inside the scene that has the same name of a material that is saved inside the variation table here. And this way you can use Katana material to override the already existing material inside the JSON variation. So for example, let's create another material here. And this material will be our, I don't know, robot one material. Add shader. Let's bring, I don't know, another Pixar Disney. Let's change, I don't know, something like yellow. And then we can merge. And then go back here and the same material, use the robot one material. You can use multiple material, just use the comma here, or you can use, for example, the regular expression like this and the name of material to match a specific name here. So if I press render now, you'll see the agents are still flat because basically Katana is not exporting this material. So we need to tell renderman to export also the material, even if it's not attached with the material sign node. So first thing, go to the renderman global statement and go to all layout outside this one and open the plugin, and we need to turn on the export tagged material. Basically, now with this option on, every material has this tag here, material, PRMon, export material. As on, renderman we will export those material, so we can use those material with atoms. So let's add an attribute set. With this one is the integer, put to 1, and let's get the path. Okay. For Arnold, it's the same things. There is a node that is it's called material settings, where you can set and tell Arnold to export this material. So now we set the tag. If we press render, we should see the new material we attached. And here we go. We have the material. So it's really easy to override materials in Katana material. Or if you have a look file, it's really easy with some scripting to use that look file directly with an Atoms cache. Okay, so last thing I want to show you is the material overrides. The material overrides, you can tell the procedural to override some material on some agent mesh. So for example, if I want robot 1 material, so for robot 1 head, I want to use I don't know, like custom add. That will be let's change this one, custom add. Okay, and so now we can remove this one. Oh, sorry, and set custom add. And if we press render, we should see the holiday head. It is yellow. Here we go.